Okay. Oh, we are live. Hey, welcome everybody. So I'm really excited because we are going to be talking today about community to community collaborations. And I am Allegra, the marketing medulla, and I am the W.I.N founder as well. Have a couple of things in the pot there stirring, but today we are just focusing on community, and I have Miss Crystal Almeida. Did I say it right?
Almeida. It is. You got it right.
Okay, so I was like, I gotta get that right. So I have Crystal. She is the founder of the Mom Link, and we're gonna be talking today about what community means to us, and we want you to join in on that, effort, opportunity, engagement option. Because if you think about it, we're in this beautiful space as women entrepreneurs to like jump in and partner up and do business together, which I've seen a lot of in the past few years. But as community leaders, we have been able to build communities. And then also we're looking at what does it look like to just also partner up together, even when we have communities that we manage. What does it look like to really think outside of the box when it comes down to community? So I'm going to start with letting Crystal introduce herself, and then we're going to get it popping. Y'all, please do me a favor. Share this live wherever you are, whatever channel you are on, because you never know who needs community and who needs to hear what we're going to talk about. So, Crystal, go ahead, introduce yourself. You have it.
Oh, thank you. Well, hello to the W.I.N community, to everybody who's watching, anybody catching the replay. My name is Crystal Almeida. Yes, CEO and founder of the Mom Link community, which is a community I'm clearly obsessed with, a community for women supporting women in business. But first and foremost, I'm an activist. I'm a nonprofit professional with 18 years in the nonprofit game. Which I bring into the Mom Link community. I'm a mom, I'm a wife. I've got two boys under the age of 7, so both 5 and 7, which makes me a true mompreneur, especially when they're home working with me. And yeah, I'm a woman who truly believes that as women in business, we can revolutionize the way we do business. And not only can we do that, but I truly believe that female entrepreneurs, if we utilize community and we leverage community, we can actually build not just successful businesses, but sustainable businesses as well.
See, I'm sold on the sustainable part because everybody knows with the way that I work is I really believe that if you're going to be, here for the long haul, you have to go ahead and create that foundation and be strong about how you build it. But I love how I got to know you a little bit, Crystal. So no one knows you like I know you right now in the W.I.N community. Well, some people do because some of y'all have been very long time in the Mom Link. I remember being in the Mom Link clubhouse rooms a lot. I don't have as much time for that anymore, but it was like really awesome because it's about really, and I think it was like supporting women, right? Just like women supporting women. And you talked about just being in that space with nonprofits. We're a nonprofit, y'all, so that's why I love what Crystal said, because when I got to know a little bit more about her and her background, I was like, see, this is what networking is about. You got to get to know people and what they do so that you can say like, okay, I know who to refer you out to now. Like I know who to support you with. And if you need support, right, and you're just like, I don't really know too much about business, like, but I do need to know more about it. There's so many people, y'all, and raise your hand if you know I'm not lying, okay, no cap. But like there's so many people in the community where I'm like, yo, can you tell me like how to do that? And they're like, sure, no problem. And I think that's really why we do community. So like, Crystal, okay, let's start off here because I know a lot of people are curious about like, what does it feel like to be in that space of a community leader and a mompreneur and, someone who has really been building something from the ground up, and you have a family, right? And you're dealing with also being new in entrepreneurship. I think that that's one thing that people don't think about, like what all that entails. So do you want to talk about some of those struggles, some of those challenges that
I
come?
would love to, because in the beginning I said I'm obsessed with the Mom Link community. I'll tell you why. Because I am just like each and every one of you female entrepreneurs, women in business, mompreneur, you name it, I am not immune to the struggles, the challenges, the ups, the downs, the trenches, the triumphs. Like, no one's immune to it in the game. And the one thing on what I really pride myself with the MomLink community is there's two things. And I know Allegra does this too in the WIN community. There's no gatekeeping. What do I mean by no gatekeeping? Like, no withholding secrets. Like, don't let me be that entrepreneur who was today years old when I found out you needed XYZ in business to succeed, right? And I think in the world of women in business, we withhold information because we think that it's going to allow somebody to move faster than us or get somewhere quicker than us. But in fact, it's the opposite of that, right? So I'm a huge believer in sharing of information and knowledge. And if I were to tell you the truth, Allegra, when I said sustainable is my key for the impact I want to create for female entrepreneurs around the world, the reason I say that is because I think building a successful business or having a successful campaign or workshop or selling out whatever you're selling, that's not the hard part. That's the easy part. You can hit success. You can make the sale. But are you there? Have you built a foundation to sustain that success? And as a new entrepreneur, no one told me that. And if you know a little bit about the Mom Link, and Allegra, I know you know this. So Mom Link hit success quick. We were in the middle of a pandemic. 3 women came together. We built this community. Clearly, women and moms were in need of community during the pandemic. So we blew up. We fulfilled a need, and it was amazing. Don't get me wrong. It was incredible. I was on a high. I was on this rocket ship. Mom Link was on a rocket ship, and we hit success, and it was phenomenal. But we had a rocket ship with no landing pad. And let me tell you, it can be a harsh landing if you don't have that foundation. And when I look back, I'm like, man, I came from the nonprofit sector. I'd never built a business in my lifetime. And I thought, I wish somebody would have told me before we launched, we needed a foundation. Before we launched, we needed a system. We needed a strategy. We needed a plan in place, right? And I really set that out as my mission for the new Mom Link, the new revamped Mom Link, to never let another female entrepreneur build a successful business without having that foundation, without having the knowledge of what actual steps you need in place to sustain you and give you that type of longevity as a female in business. I hope that makes sense. So that's a little bit of the story of how Mom Link kind of hit that success. And now I'm just purely focused on the sustainability of building a business.
I truly get it. So, like, this is one of the transparencies of building a community, y'all, is that you got to really fail a lot. Like, you have to go through things that are going to show you, where your weaknesses are. And I think it's also like a bold, confident move to admit that, yeah, like, we didn't do 100% of what we could have, but the challenge that we had taught us how to move forward, and now we're gonna kind of go in this direction. Same for me, y'all. Let me tell you, I did so many things wrong in the beginning of building this community. Y'all would not even know. Y'all be like, Allegra. And so what do I tell you all the time? Test everything. Test your rooms if you're going to do audio rooms. Test your platforms if you're going to use platforms to communicate with your community. I don't know if you went through some things when it came down to finding a space for your community, because you said that y'all grew really fast. So like for me, I was telling the community members on Clubhouse, because when I asked you, were there struggles that you went through, like going into this space, my biggest thing was like, why did you become a community leader? Because most of the time, the reason why we become this is because there was a lack of something. Like there was something missing that said, okay, wait a minute, I got to find out where that is. And if you can't find it, what do? We build it. And Clubhouse was one of the main tools that we used in the pandemic to say, okay, how do we reach people around the world? And I remember those rooms on Clubhouse. Oh my God. I remember the Mom Link rooms, y'all. It was like hundreds of people in those rooms. It was Gina and all the people that did. I don't know who the other young lady's name is.
Nicole.
Okay. Gina, Crystal, Nicole. They were all rocking these stages super hard, to the point where I was just like, what are these ladies doing out here? But you're right. When success comes really fast, right, you kind of do come to a crash landing. But it also teaches you that you made it, you got there. So a lot of people don't get there. Put it like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So kind of celebrate that. But then also you got to realize that, okay, what did I learn from it? And then moving forward, okay, so this is what I want to talk about. How is it that you feel now that some of the struggles that people need to kind of pay attention to when it comes down to reaching out in community for help? Because one of the things you said was like, I wish I would have known, right? And I think a lot of times, and this is just my honest opinion, y'all, I think a lot of times because we don't ask for help. Like, we're not like, okay, listen, who in this community can give me support doing this? And the only reason I say that, and not to your point, Crystal, not to what y'all was doing, because it could have just been something that just happened. And it's like, okay, we just didn't know. But there's sometimes where we know we need help and we need support, but I find that that's one of the struggles. Do you find that there's struggles in your community that you feel like we could improve on?
Yeah, I would say the community for female entrepreneurship as a whole, one of the struggles that I definitely see is when I say that nobody told me and I wish somebody would have told me. You know what the things people were telling me as a new female entrepreneur? How to quickly grow my following, how to quickly get engagement, how to join follow loops, how to, these little hacks and these quick, fast, like, get there quick approach.
Oh, y'all
Because
gotta put hearts in the comments if that happened to y'all. Like, if it happened to y'all, go ahead and put hearts in.
I wish
Everybody
somebody
put
would have,
hearts.
and I was attracted to that. That's that shiny object. Like, yeah, I want 10,000 followers, right? Instead, the questions and what we should be seeking is not how to grow that social media, but the priorities of our business. How do we build a foundation? How to streamline our business? How do we write a business plan? How do we write our, how do we do a little bit of our own budgeting and bookkeeping? How do we understand our cash flow? Like, there is so much more than how to quickly get to where you need to do. And one of the pain points I see in entrepreneurship is because a lot of times we don't want to do the work that it requires, because the quick fixes feel like it gets us there quick. But what we realize is the experience I shared, getting there quick is not always the route you want to take. You actually do want to take that slow paced way. And don't get me wrong, I want to say something here. Huge disclaimer. Mom Link, we hit that success because we did do something right. We focused on building community and servant type leadership first, and never asked for a thing before we launched our membership program, right? And so we built trust. We built the like, no trust factor. So we did a lot of things right in terms of our setting the foundation. So I don't regret that at all. Huge lessons learned. But the biggest struggle I see for entrepreneurship is how do I say it without, like, I'm sorry, I'll be one to admit, I want to get fit and be muscular and be toned, but I have yet to go to the gym. And entrepreneurs want to build successful businesses, but we have yet to sit down and write our business plan, right? So I just want to say, I want to say, if you're listening in as a new entrepreneur, if there's something in your business that you don't want to do, if it's, learning a CRM system, you need to take the 3 months. You need to sit down. You need to learn how to streamline your business. This is crucial to the survival of your business. And it is not something that happens overnight. So if you are looking at something that needs to get done in your business and it feels like it can't get done overnight, it's probably the exact thing that you should put on your radar that you do need to get done in your business. Does that make sense? Is that a struggle? I hope that resonates with people. But
No,
don't
listen,
right there with
you're not throwing darts at me, honey. Like, I get it and I appreciate it. It's just that it can be a little strong of the truth, because it's the truth. You do have to take time to work on the things that you want. And you get out of it what you put in. That's just the truth of the matter. But I want to say this too, because you said something, you hit on something so powerful, is that it takes more than just the tricks and the quick tips. And a lot of the things that we love the shiny penny syndrome. But I want to just kind of hinge on, how did that impact you? Because I know it impacted me in community where I was like, oh, wait a minute, I'm tired of the fluff. Like, we got to get to the real pain points of what people are experiencing and create resolution for that. So did you put programs and initiatives in place that you were just like, I know that this is going to really hit the mark?
Heck yeah. Actually, we for 2024, I love inspiration. I love motivation. I love where you can fire me up and I feel like I can conquer the world and slay dragons. So if you bring me that type of masterclass audio event, I love it. Don't get me wrong. Everybody needs a little bit of that if that's what you're delivering. But in terms of education in our community, I need women to understand how to do some soft bookkeeping so you're not overwhelmed right now in January when tax season's around the corner. I need you to educate yourself on what automation means, on what streamlining your business means. I want to deliver tangible education. I need practical teachable moments that I wish somebody would have took me hand over hand to learn some things, right? And I'll be the first to admit, I see, okay, here's another struggle, Allegra. I think a lot of female entrepreneurs, if you're not in business, if you don't come from the business world, I think there's a lot of business jargon and language that freaks female entrepreneurs out. And they're too afraid to say, what does automation mean? And I'm not going to lie, I was never an entrepreneur. I didn't really understand what people meant when they're like automate, streamline. That was like jargon to me, right? So I want to bring that type of clarity. And I really have refocused, Janae Pitts, who is our COO, her and I and Tamir Wynn, we just had a conversation yesterday planning our educational classes for 2024. And we are bringing you a CPA. We are bringing you a bookkeeper. We are bringing you a lawyer because these are the foundations to keep you safe, sustainable, and successful in business. So I'm being intentional with the type of education. And let me tell you, it might feel dry, but they are a prerequisite to being successful in business.
No, like I like making business fun. So don't think that business has to be dry or that it has to feel dry. Like Crystal, first of all, the mom link energy, and don't like I feel like people have to understand when you talked about your challenges, taking your business from that really high to like, okay, wait, we gotta rebuild again. You never went away. That's one thing I want people to understand. Like, as a community to community collaboration, I want to commend the Mom Link community because y'all stood still and y'all stuck through. Like, okay, well, we're not going to, just give up. We're going to keep going because we want to see this through. So many women I know have had their lives change over the few years that they've been a part of that community. I've seen that. So I know that, being able to push that mission, y'all, it's just fabulous to see. But I just want to emphasize, like, just don't give up. No. And when you get to this part of it, I think that, yeah, as women, we do struggle to, and that's why I say we got to ask for help because the question is really where the portal of success is coming from. Like, hey, what the heck are you talking about? Do you know how many Clubhouse stages I had to jump on and be like, okay, you just said blah, 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 blah. I don't know what the heck you're talking about. I need you to break that down because you're right. There's a lot to be, absorbed. Nobody's teaching you about business when you go through school. No one's just naturally saying, hey, you learn your science and your math and here's your business class. You have to learn that on your own. And so you're right, where when you're building something, and shout out to the Mom Link for doing that. So y'all follow the Mom Link. We're doing a community collaboration. So there's no stingy energy here. Okay. No. Because people will be like, and this is the truth, right? They'll be like, no, like you're not supposed to group up with other communities and do things because you never know, like if you just feel like there's something bad is going to happen. I don't know why people feel like this, but I've actually been through this. And so I just love the fact that number one, Crystal was like, yeah, like, let's do this. And now that we're, just kind of talking about, how that feels to share that space, I think it's amazing because there are resources, y'all, that Crystal is mentioning that we do not have. And I'm like, listen, this is an advantage because now you can see where you can get that opportunity. This is, I think, a big part of networking, which is what we do in this community. We're about business networking opportunities and really understanding what that really looks like, opposed to how we feel it looks, right? Because I see a lot of people go, oh yeah, I hate networking. I'm like, well, what does that look like to you? Well, I go to a conference and I talk to a few people, blah, 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 blah. That's not networking. Like, networking is building relationships. Okay. And it's really about getting to the point where you're getting to know people so well that they can connect you to the right people, mention your room in spaces that you're not in, being able to know you well enough to know, like, hey, I can refer this person over to you and they actually qualify for your service and they're not going to waste your time. And I think that that's effective. And so I'm loving the conversation. I do want to ask you a few more questions if you don't mind, Crystal.
Well, I just want to touch upon two things that you talked about. So
Okay,
you talked about when you talked about the fear of women asking and saying, I don't know what that means, or I don't know how to do this in business. Like, ladies, if you've ever felt fearful of saying, I don't know what that means, or I don't know how to do something in business, you're not alone. Drop something in the chat. But don't be that woman, because you're only holding yourself back. Trust me, because no one, and I was that woman. I was on Clubhouse stages and people would say things and I'd have to go and research and figure it out, or, go on Google or now Chat GTP to find out what it was, right? Or what it is that they're talking about and get a quick answer. But the most successful person's doing the same thing. Nobody has the answers to everything. I'm an expert community builder. I'm an expert nonprofit activist, fund developer, you name it. I did 18 years. That's what makes me an expert. I'm 2-3 years in the entrepreneurial game. I'm not going to shy away from asking the questions I need to succeed or to go to the next level. And I want to encourage you all, don't let that fear of feeling unintelligent or looking unprofessional or unseasoned in your industry hold you back from getting the information you need to move forward. Another thing on that, because I think this happens and I think it's a struggle with entrepreneurship, we're encouraged as entrepreneurs to be vulnerable. And I want to caution you ladies or whoever's listening in right now is be vulnerable. Yes, be vulnerable, be authentic, but remember to be vulnerable in an arena where others are willing to be vulnerable with you. Make sure you're vulnerable in safe spaces. So when you want to ask that question, when you want to be honest about, I don't know, can you please help me? Ask another female fellow entrepreneur, ask someone in your community, ask someone in the W.I.N community. Make sure you are being vulnerable in those safe spaces where it's adding to you instead of taking away from you or inadvertently adding to some imposter syndrome. So that's the one thing. The second thing, when you approached me about the W.I.N and MomLink community, collaborating and just starting by having this conversation, I was gung-ho right away, because one thing I know for a fact, and this doesn't come from entrepreneurship, this comes from me working in the nonprofit sector, is capacity building is a must to make the world a better place, to build profitable and sustainable businesses. And the most important, number one, is to serve as many people who need to be served in the world. So could you imagine? MomLink can't serve all the women wanting to build businesses in the world. W.I.N community couldn't serve all the women needing services in the world. The two of our businesses, our communities together, we cannot serve all the women in the world. But what we can do is collaborate, identify what services are unique to each of our communities, and we can fill the gaps in services needed for women entrepreneurs in the world. So just like Allegra said, there's some things the MomLink does, like we focus on a CRM system. We help you learn a CRM system. Allegra teaches you how to get interns, look for grants. She talks about nonprofits. We do some unique things in our community. Could you imagine we didn't partner up? Us partnering up actually contributes to female entrepreneurs around the world, because we are capacity building. So I hope that made sense, but I just wanted to touch upon those two things.
Okay, I am so sorry, y'all. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can, Allegra.
Okay, so I'm switching over because it was a really bad staticky feedback on my phone. So I'm like, let me switch over to the laptop, and then I have it still loud on the phone. So I heard exactly what you said, though. Listen, I think that the fact that we have to be able to understand what it means to partner up as leaders. Okay. I think that that is showing at the top, right? To your point, what we expect people to do. Like, I just don't do anything that I don't tell someone to do anything that I don't do already myself, right? And so that's why I'm thinking, and shout out to Camille, y'all. So real quick, I want to shout out to people because Ariana was in, I couldn't see it on my phone, so I'm glad I switched over. Ariana, shout out to Ari for popping through. And also, I don't know who this is, but thank you for the fire emojis. I appreciate that. Go ahead and put that up there. And also, we have, yes, rebuilding doesn't have to mean disappearing. Camille, never give up, never back down, never surrender. I love Camille. She's so amazing. And Camille is an example, y'all. Listen, Camille is an example because she was the reason why she's really the reason why we're here today. Because
yes, she's the one who connected us.
Yeah, and because to your point, like, when we have a huge network of individuals who, like, we compete, yes, because we're in business, y'all, but we don't compete in a way where it's negative or feels bad, right? We want to make sure that we can always support each other. And so I was looking at Camille, and she was in the Mom Link, just rocking and rolling, y'all. That's why I said they never went away. They just kept doing everything. And I'm like sitting like, what is going on? Like, I haven't seen Camille in forever. Like, I want to find out more about what's going on. And of course, if you are to the point of understanding business, right? If you are constantly showing what you're doing in your community, what you're doing behind the scenes, because I still saw posts from the Mom Link. I still saw activity going on, right? And I still have people in our community, shout out to Danette, who was like, yeah, like, I just went to New York. We just did a flash mob dance. So, there was activity happening. And I think it's important because when you have these connections with each other and you stay connected and you support each other, it gives you these portals to each other and other people. And so that's why I can sit here and be connected to Crystal and get to know her even more, because I just dug at the surface layer. But Crystal got so many more layers I know I'm going to dig so deep into and just be like, okay, so what else and what else? Because it takes a lot to run a community. It takes a lot to be in leadership and to and I know Crystal, I know when you say it like, well, I got my two boys and I got this and I got that. It takes a lot, y'all. Like, it's not a joke. And especially when you have people that are really dependent and leaning on you to show up for them. Okay, that's a huge thing. And so I just want to ask you this last really big question, just in case something else comes up, we'll just kind of ask this one question. But I really want to ask for anyone in the community that's like, hey, I want to be a leader, because I hear that a lot. I want my own community. I hear that a lot. What advice do you have for someone who's like, they wanting to have that leadership role in community? What do you say to them?
Okay, first thing I will tell you, everybody should be building community. You're not building clientele anymore. Clientele, clients, that whole terminology, get rid of it. It's holding you back. You're building community. Your clients are your community. You already have a community. Nurture it and water it and make sure that you're constantly engaging your community, because those are your clients. You've always had community. So number one, you don't need to go and build a community. Just focus on the one that you already have and nurture it. Number two, if you're looking to build a community like the Mom Link or like the W.I.N, talking about a membership program where your sole purpose is to build community, you're not focused on specifically any other type of service, be sure that's what you want to do. Like Allegra said, being a leader of just a community like the Mom Link or the W.I.N is a huge feat. And I say this because this was my role in the nonprofit sector, was building community, was running volunteer programs. And sustaining that is quite the challenge. It is not for the faint of heart. So if you're, I say this, well, listen, you know what, Allegra, sometimes I've had people say, oh my goodness, this person left the community and they're now starting their own community and they're doing everything the Mom Link's doing. And I'm like, you know what I say? I wish them the best of luck. Because let me tell you, when you have a product-based business, or one service that you're selling. I'm not saying it's so much easier for you, but it is a very different beast than building a community. One of the things I realized with the Mom Link in retrospect, and why the Mom Link needs a team. So the Mom Link, we have a leadership team. There's 9 of us on our team. I need to, even this year, I'm like, oh my gosh, we need so many more people to join our team. So we're looking to hire in 2024. And the reason I say that is because I didn't build a one product business. I didn't start by just selling you one service. I have this like company that I built with all these departments and things that we need to make sure that are in place for the members of our community. So I would definitely say switch your mindset around. You already do have community, and get rid of the word clientele and really start nurturing your already existing community in your business.
Powerful. Without going so deep in that rabbit hole, I think that was well said. And it's needed, because sometimes we do get lost in, oh, I have to do this and I have to do that, when you really do have what you need. I found that a lot of the people in the space that I was already in was already wanting the same things that I wanted, right? I just had to open up my mouth and say something. And I just think it's really important to also know to have the capacity to do it, y'all. Like, don't come out here thinking that you could just hold the weight of other people's problems, because that's what will come your way. Building community really means that you have the opportunity to either hold space for those individuals or delegate the responsibility so you could hold space for those individuals. And just a real quick thing, y'all, because I have some people in the W.I.N community that have seen this thing come from the ground up. Y'all, shout out to y'all. Yeah, give a shout out in the comments. Shout out to y'all, because we started on Clubhouse. And it's like to see, and I think the same with Mom Link, right? Did y'all start on Clubhouse, or did y'all?
We actually were before Mom Link. It was myself and Nicole who started as Shameless Mamas, was the company name. I know. And we got together before getting on Clubhouse, and we were on Instagram building a community for new moms, not necessarily in business, just motherhood, and shamelessly sharing an authentic journey of motherhood with other moms. So that's actually how Mom Link, the root of the.
Seriously, my head is blown. What? See, this is why I love having these conversations. I know we're doing it live in front of y'all, but it's just really good to know more about the behind the scenes of it, because sometimes people think this great big grand gesture of a thing started just overnight. And if you look at the behind the scenes of it, right, because that's why, like, we're talking about you, the woman behind the real brand, because we're just like, okay, that's where it started, where y'all was talking about real conversations that was going on. And people can really feel that. And I think that hence leads into community, because community can be anything. You have spiritual communities, you have Girl Scouts, you got different communities, but what you were talking about was communities of moms who really needed a space to vent, to kind of talk about what they want to do. And honestly, from just even thinking about it now, it sounds like it just grew.
It grew and evolved, because I realized moms are badass business owners at the same time. Even if you haven't launched your business, you got a business because you run a household. You're the CEO of your household. You're the CEO of your kids. You're probably the CEO of your husband if you got one, or your partner. So it just really evolved. But you're right. You're right, Allegra. Like, community is everywhere, and you can foster and build community anywhere and everywhere, whether it's in business, whether it's on your social media platforms. So yeah.
No, I'm just emphasizing how it doesn't have to be perfect, and they don't have to go find all these things, because to your point, y'all started where people needed you right where they were. Moms who needed that safe space, right? Who need to talk about things. But then over time, I even saw this transition in the market, y'all. You know, I do market research. So, of course, I'm going to talk about the numbers and the stats. And I saw where there were more and more of us as women becoming entrepreneurs, and the numbers were just quadrupling just quickly. And it was just like, what are we doing out here? Like, we really are taking over the world. We figured out that if we can run a household and manage the kids that we had plus the ones we didn't birth, then maybe we could actually run a business. Maybe we could actually manage, you know, the money over there too. And when we started to discover that we could, I think that that's really where people started to become more encouraged, right?
So
And that
powerful.
becomes more of a different need. It's like, now I don't just need to be in a safe environment venting about my problems. Now I need to be taught how to manage these books. Now I need to be taught how to, you know, walk in a boardroom in front of an investor and, you know, make it make sense. But that's what comes up for me with throughout this whole conversation. I just had to digress there.
So, oh my goodness, so powerful. Allegra, if anything fires me up, you know, when you're like, what's the point of you doing W.I.N? What's the point of me putting all this energy into the Mom Link community? And I go back to that same thing, like, no woman left behind. You're right, Allegra. There was a clear shift in women entering into entrepreneurship. And what I pride myself on to never, any woman who crosses paths with me, I will never encourage another woman, go spend all your cash flow dollars on that coach, on that thing, on that shiny object, because it's going to blow up your business. Nobody's going to blow up your business. The only person who's going to blow up your business is the person who was right for the job, which is you. You need to do the work that it requires to build yourself the business of your dreams, and trust and believe it is only you. It has only ever been you. And when you realize that, that's when the recognition, the appreciation, the celebration, the confidence, the motivation to continue will just naturally fill you. And you will, like Allegra said, you'll have those moments where you want to quit. It's just a part of entrepreneurship. You have to accept it. Every so often, you're going to go through the high, and then you're going to come to the valley, and you're going to be like, I want to quit. But let me tell you today, what my mom has always told me, and she holds me accountable to it. The day that you want to quit most, make that be the one day you are not allowed to quit. You can quit any other time. Quit when you're on your high, but you are not allowed to quit when you're on your low. Right?
That
Makes sense, right, Allegra?
That is powerful, because I would never quit on my high. Who would quit on their high?
Yeah.
Like, that is so powerful. Okay, so listen, appreciate your comments, appreciate your hearts and your fire emojis. Listen, we love to engage and know that you all are, you know, getting something out of the conversations. You know, as community, we believe that there should be a level of authenticity, especially here, because, you know, it's one of our core values, and also making sure that you are able to even ask questions. We've had people in the comments ask us questions about, you know, what does this feel like? And, you know, I want to build community this way. But Crystal, you said something that was like really powerful. You're just like, you know, you don't have to wait to build community. You already have the people right there in front of you. So just start, you know, curating that experience, and just don't be afraid. I think, you know, if you really put yourself in position, like, I love having mentors. Y'all know how I love having mentors, right? And so, like, if you're really wanting to learn how to do stuff, I know people that have literally gotten to my space. They're like, you're my mentor. I didn't even know it. And for like 6 months, they stuck under me, figured it out, and then built their own community. And to your point, it's not easy, but it's valuable, because even if you have a business, you're going to have to curate community in your business. Your customers, they're going to have to feel like they're part of something, a culture, some type of energy, right? That's different, because why would they buy your product opposed to, you know, Smojo's down the street? So let's just do this last on a high note, because we have a few minutes left, and I want people to hear some of these milestones and accomplishments, because you have already told us some challenges and some struggles, and we know that there's some good and bad to everything. But we love to celebrate the wins, because that's what we do here. So what if you think about some of the milestones that you've achieved over time, even throughout your success as a woman, right? Because the things that we achieve before we start the business sometimes contributes to our business success as well. So, do you want to talk about some of those highs so we can encourage some of these ladies here in this group?
Yeah, absolutely. My biggest high of 2023, I invested in a CRM system. I brought it into the MomLink community, and guess what? I didn't know a thing about a CRM system, but guess what I did? I took myself to school every single day for 3 months. All I did was become a master of the CRM system. I wanted to empower and teach women with this tool in my own community. And so I did it. And I'm so proud of myself. You have no idea. I can speak some tech language where I feel so like, like I can, have conversations with experts in the industry. And I would have never thought that would have been me, right? So I'm super proud of that milestone because now I have not just a tool that I've embedded in our community, but I'm the master, I'm the expert. You can come to me and ask any questions. And that's one of the things that I think that's what I love doing. And it's a huge celebratory moment for me. One of the things I love most about the MomLink community is on Fridays, I get to sit on Zoom and women who use our CRM system get to drop in and ask me for support and get one-on-one tech support, one-on-one questions. Let's figure it out together. I love that teaching. I love knowing that somebody is left today with something they can execute, something they can put forth. So that was a huge win. Another win is two other wins that I want to share. Last year in 2023, I got to fill my Pay It Forward cup in the fundraising aspect. We did a polar dip, a group of Canadians. Elizabeth Nancy Jansen, one of our members, organized and coordinated a polar dip. We jumped in the freezing Lake Erie here in Ontario in March, and we raised $5,000 to donate for moms and women in recovery programs. That was just a really incredible milestone. And then our last milestone of the year was in October. We have our annual in-person event, and Allegra already said it, but we went to Times Square and I got to check my bucket list. And I did a flash mob dance, a Zumba flash mob dance. There was 30, 40 women all dressed in pink in the middle of Times Square in front of red stairs. It was epic. It was everything. And I don't know how to top that off. So this year I'm what do we go flash dance in front of the pyramids in Egypt? Where do we go next? But I was stoked. We put together an incredible event in Times Square, and I never even had that on my bucket list, to dance in the middle of Times Square. I'm not a Zumba expert. I've never done a flash mob, but guess what? We did it, and we did it together as a community of women who just truly believe in women supporting women in business. Oh, and the last celebratory thing that I want to celebrate you, Allegra, the W.I.N community, the MomLink community, the women of the communities. I want to celebrate each and every one of you, because you know what we've done, ladies, together? And I see it. I feel it. I'm a different woman today. We've rewired our brains. When Allegra talks, when you talked about, people have come to seek mentorship from you and then they go off and build their own community, guess what we've done? We rewired our brains. We no longer look at Allegra and think, why her and not me? Why the MomLink and not me? No, wow, the MomLink can do this. Let me sit here and learn from the W.I.N community so I can go off and build this myself, because I know I can serve a whole different demographic of women, tap into a different community of women. So I'm really proud of that milestone. So if you're a member of the MomLink community, if you're a member of the W.I.N community, Allegra, flowers to you, because we are a part of something huge. We have literally not just revolutionized the way women do business, but we are rewiring our brains and getting rid of that conditioning of that women need to compete instead of collaborate. And now that's collaboration over competition.
Man, that's so powerful. I just love every little bit of it. And I love the celebration. Thank you so much for the flowers, throwing them right back to you, sis, because at the end of the day, we are a reflection of, you're a reflection of me, right? We attract who we are. And I think that when, we show up powerfully the way we do, it's just such a beautiful thing to see. And you're right. We are changing the way that people see women in power, see community, right? Because it really is about love. And I romance around community. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Like, I love y'all so much. I be thinking about y'all. I be having dreams about y'all. Like, I hope y'all okay. So I think it's really good to just and I love business too. So, you touched on business because I think that it gives you the power and the freedom to do whatever you need to do for yourself. If you feel like, you want to make as much money, $3 million, you have the opportunity to do that. You're going to have to work for it. But that there's no cap, there's no glass ceiling hanging over your head. So I want to just, say that if you are a go-getter and you're just really like creative, have lots of ideas, and you truly want to get support to like build that business, you have two community leaders right here in front of your face that provided resources to help you do that. So this is a call to action. Ask the question, right? Get in the community, get the resources, right? And make sure you get the education, because I heard you say that as well, Crystal, that you had to your milestones were amazing. I knew the flash mob was going to be on there. I just knew it. I was like, that flash mob has to be on the milestone list, because I saw that. And like I told y'all, some of our community members are also members of the Mom Link. And I love that because we get to share in each other's celebrations. And when I saw the flash mob, I was like, that is awesome. Like, I would have never thought about that. And just to see, y'all have a good time and to be very genuine about like just sharing the love with each other. I felt that through the photos. I don't know how everybody else feels, but I felt like it was very genuine and it was very loving. And I know the people in your community that exemplify that in their everyday life. But I also want to give caution to the fact that you said something as well as this competition. We do have to still drown that out, because it is something that we are re-engineering and rewiring from us being, now in our 20s and 30s and 40s even, where we've been like, I remember my mom would say stuff when I was young and she'd be like, you got to be careful of other. I'm like, for what? Like, why I got to be careful of other women about that for? Like, that's stupid. But, we're living off of our previous generation's trauma. There's a lot of things that women celebrating. Listen, shout out to Women's International Month, because that's coming up soon, I think, right? It's Women's International Month in March. And I'm just really excited that we get to celebrate the things that we've overcome. Because looking at our history, if you really want to be real, it hasn't been that long since we've gotten over a lot of these like major humps. Okay.
And there's still a lot of work to be done. There's so much work that is still left to be done. And, we're just, Allegra, and that's where MomLink and WIN community feels so great, because there's a lot of work to be done, but we are contributing to that. And each one of our members are a part of that movement and creating that type of impact and that change that needs to occur.
Yeah, that's powerful. Well, listen, y'all know what to do. Here in the WIN community, you want to make sure that you share this replay, make sure you watch it again. And also, how can they get connected to you, Crystal? Because there are people right now that are like, that sounds amazing. I never heard of the Mom Link. I don't know what the heck this is. I want to find out more. So we're going to find out more of the Mom Link.
Yeah, you can head over to the momlinkclub.com. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, the Mom Link, anywhere. Join us weekly networking rooms on Clubhouse or on LinkedIn. And just reach out, like start a conversation, or you're going to catch us, because I'm going to bring this over to the Mom Link community. We're going to show up on Mom Link socials, and we're going to interview Allegra and bring Allegra over to talk about, how did Allegra get started, what she's doing in the WIN community, and continue to follow both communities, because this is just the beginning to the collaboration amongst these two communities and what's in store for 2024. Because one thing I know Allegra knows for sure, and I know it, and all the women in both communities know it, is we are definitely stronger together. There is no denying that.
You know what? You said it best. I love that. Thank you, Crystal. Y'all know what to do. Follow the Mom Link. Obviously, they are everywhere. So if you just Google me, is what she is saying, you will find them wherever they are. And I don't know who's on here giving us flowers, but thank you for that. We're going to get out of here because we are at the end of the hour. And I also want to make sure that we put some of these details after this live is over. We are going to also have the details in the comments for you to get to know more about the Mom Link, and also to get to know more about what we're doing in the WIN community later on. And also in 2024, if you have not gotten involved with your community, I'm telling this to everybody. This is not just for y'all WIN community members. I see y'all, and y'all spent all 2023 chilling, waiting for your moment, kind of like hoping a layer calls you to the front. That's not what 2024 is about. This is a no excuses zone. So if you are ready to go with your, with your opportunities this year, don't wait. Okay, because the only thing that's holding y'all back is you. And so you have myself, you have Crystal, and we already told y'all what to do. All right, we'll see y'all later. Have an amazing day.
Bye, everybody.